Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm now working on two channels. I just want to get this out there right now. One for the business, Helvetia Bushcraft, and this one right here is my private channel on YouTube. And we're making videos for Helvetia Bushcraft and promoting it. And I just wanted to, let me get this down a little bit because that is a little bit warm. Yeah, just so that you know that my channel, the channel I'm working on now, that I will continue making videos about subjects, and I may cross over with subjects also. But today, what I want to talk to you, because it's getting cold outside. It's getting more than cold. It's been cold actually for a couple of weeks now, and really been cold lately here in Switzerland where I'm at, and we have snow in the mountains already. But what I wanted to talk to you about is winter camping. It's something that I do a lot more of than I do summer camping. And the reason why is because, number one, there's less people. Number two, there's no bugs. And I like the fresh air. And I do enjoy being around the fire with friends. And I don't mind the cold so much. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about winter camping is that, what's the difference between summer and winter camping? What do we do? What is the equipment that we add? It's not a lot, but it's enough. Okay, the first thing is that for summer camping, you may get away with a lighter backpack because you're not carrying so much snivel gear, we call it. You may not even be carrying a sleeping bag. Maybe you're carrying just a poncho liner or a quilt or something. And so you can get away with that. But in winter camping, you'll need to up your ante. You need to up your backpack. I have a small 30-liter Monroe, which you guys see in a lot of my videos, that I carry for a lot of summer stuff. But in the wintertime, I'll pull out my Granite Gear 60-liter pack, or maybe even a bigger one, depending on the weather, and I'll add my winter bag to it, or which takes up a good bit of room because it's quite a big bag. But I'll add that to it. And then I'll also add a little bit more food, because in the wintertime, you'll need to consume a bit more, especially if you're hiking and camping, okay? And especially if you're working with the snow a lot more, so you'll need a little bit more food with you. So you want to up your calories a little bit also. Also insulation for your body. I usually carry this right here with me, this little vest, this little Patagonia vest I've had for 30-something years. I've had it for a long time. And what I love about it is just their true sizing. So it's an XL, and I wear a double XL now, so it fits really, the European size, but it fits really, really well. I love it. It's lightweight, but it's also quite warm. But what I'll do, though, is I'll add a loftier jacket. I may carry long underwear pants and a long underwear shirt also. I may switch out my summer leather gloves for my winter leather gloves. I usually bring a little watch cap with me, but I'll definitely have it for the wintertime, okay? But a lot of other things, I may bring a tent so I'm a bit warmer inside of it. It really depends. And I'm ready to build a fire. And if I can't build a fire, I'll definitely be able to cook. I know for my food wise, this is it right here. I have the jet boil, which I bring quite often with me. But if I'm in the summertime, I'll have this, what I have with it is this insulation piece right here with it. And this, I can actually put the ration inside of the meal inside and put the hot water, close it up, and it'll insulate it. So while it takes the 10, 15, 20 minutes to hydrate, it'll stay warm, actually. And so this is a really good thing. And it just snugs around my jet boil, because I do bring my jet boil with me more in the wintertime, because I can quickly get a fire going with this right here if I'm not building a fire. It really depends. If I'm building a fire, then I'll use stuff for a fire. But the problem also in the wintertime is that a lot of the dry wood is not so dry. And the pine and the spruce, it just burns so quickly, So, but yeah, so it's one of those things I do. I mean, I'll maybe even add my axe for sure, with my saw, where I might get away with not having to necessarily carry it in the summertime. But yeah, so what I do is I carry my 10 essentials, then I carry the extra sleeping gear from the summer. I just go up a different level, and I carry more snivel gear with me, and I have beefier socks, with me, this kind of stuff. And I will probably, make sure I got my gaiters with me, and a nice warmer jackets. So if I'm sitting around, I can stay warmer. So this is some of the things I do. I definitely don't want your water to freeze either, or your water filter if you got that. So your water filter, you'll have it. But if I bring my water filter, I always in my first aid kit, I have water purification tablets, the MT10s, I think, or some MT1s from Catadine, and they're fantastic. Micropure, excuse me, from Micropure, they're fantastic actually, and they don't have the taste, this kind of stuff. So just in case that when you use your water filter, you need to you need to purge out all the water, but keep it in a place where it's going to stay reasonably not frozen. Because also what can happen is that if the water's in the water filter and it freezes, the water's going to expand and it can damage your water filter also. And I believe this has happened to me before with my my pocket rocket. I think is what it's called. Anyway, but from MSR. But so you got to be careful of that, So these are some of the things you got to be aware of. You got to be aware of the temperatures, because of the difference in temperature. You're going to sleep differently. You're going to sit around camp differently, and you're going to move around differently. One thing also is very important is do not overdress before you hike. Okay. This is something we learned very quickly when I was in the Army. We would strip down to just a BDU top and a t-shirt, even in the cold winter while we were carrying, because you're exerting so much energy, and you're sweating a lot. And that sweat, perspiration, if it doesn't evaporate, that's why we say cotton keel, stay away from cotton, especially in the wintertime. You want to wear clothes that are going that's going to dry faster, okay? So carry yourself maybe sleeping gear, or once you stop, camp gear, and let your other stuff sort of dry out a little bit if you can. You can hang it up in the inside of your tent so that when you're sleeping, that heat is going to dry things out too. And then the next morning, you just jump into that, okay? But yeah, so dress light as you move, and then once you stop, then you can change out some clothes once you've got your camp set up. And then you go ahead and get in your layering system. Make sure you layer, okay, and layer well. Get yourself. You want yourself some nice, either smart wools or wool, merino wool t-shirts or long sleeve shirts. And I prefer to wear a lot more wools. I do wear synthetics. I like this one right here. It's a fantastic one. It's a lot lighter than wool is, but I'll have like wool t-shirts, this kind of stuff, or synthetic t-shirts, something that's going to evaporate. It's going to push that humidity to the outside, and there you go. That's about it. So make sure you drink plenty, you eat plenty, keep yourself warm, and you'll have a much better outing, especially in the wintertime. And if you go in somewhere where it's a lot more snow, of course you're going to bring your snowshoes, or if you're going cross country skiing or what do you call ski? I don't know, hiking, skiing here. So that's going to be added weight, stuff that you're not going to normally need. You're not going to need it at all in the summertime. So in the wintertime, you're going to have to add all these things to it. One thing we have here is really nice. You can actually hike up to chalets and that kind of stuff and stay the night in a chalet. So once you get there, you can pull off all your damp stuff, hang it up. It'll dry that night. And then you can stay, that night you sleep basically on a mattress in the attic, actually, which you stay very, very warm. But I like those. Those are great, especially if you're with friends, especially if you're with lady friends, because it's nice because it's a little bit more romantic, this kind of stuff. But if you're out there and you don't have that, then you get out there and you set up your tent, and follow all the rules. Be careful where you set up your camp also. Make sure you don't have this big clump of trees with lots of heavy snow on it above you. One thing I tend to do is if I do sleep near trees, I sleep really close to the trunk of the trees, because you have a lot more protection. That's the biggest part of the limbs on the trees, and all the outer parts is what's going to fall off the quickest. So I sleep up closer to the tree. So when I set up my stuff, also I'll when I winter camp, I'll cut a lot more. I'll cut some spruce limbs down, set up a good bed, a good thick bed under my tarp, because I usually sleep under a basha or a tarp, and if you don't do that, you usually sleep under the spruce trees, you'll be fine also. But I give myself a nice bed to put on. Then I throw my Tyvek on top of that to help protect. Then I'll throw on my, I usually carry two sleeping mats, an air up mat, and a foam mat. Now with the air up mats, be careful because you can damage them, but also that air inside of it can get cold. So there does exist down or insulated air mattresses, and you can look in that, but they're heavier. I have one. I've used it before. It works great. It's just that it's a heavier bag. Okay. Nowadays, I try to go as light as possible, and I want to experience my sleeping part as comfortable as possible. But and there you go. So bring the right food. So in the wintertime, you're going to need much more calories, like I said, but you're going to need a lot more fats and stuff. So be prepared to if you're going to cook, bring you much fattier stuff. Here in Switzerland, we have a lot of fondue and raclettes with lots of cheese, that kind of stuff. You boil up your potatoes, you throw your cheese on it, it melts, and then you eat it, and it's all good. So these are some really good things to eat also. But think about all that. Think about all that before you go. Anyway, and also make sure you have plenty of, you don't want to put on, you need sun cream if it's sunny out, especially in the wintertime, but you have to be careful because you can get frostbite with that gel sitting on. You can get cold. It can cause you to have some frostbite, and if you do have frostbite, you may not be able to see it. So you got to be careful. So you want to get yourself a really good cream that really blocks the sun, or like a 50 or something like that, and you're going to have this cream pretty thick on your face because it doesn't last forever, but especially in the higher altitudes. And also make sure you got your sunglasses. That's from your 10 essentials, okay? Because the reflection of the sun from the snow coming up can burn your eyes really bad, okay? So be prepared for that. But anyway, and there you go. That's all you need to know. I mean, there are probably some few more things I may have forgotten, and if I have, please leave a comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I want to thank you for visiting the channel, and I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.